Okay, what I was planning to talk to you about is inspirational leadership. So Joe asked me if I could do something interesting about HR, and so I racked my brains, and there's some stuff that's just not interesting at all, so we won't go there. But it got me thinking about, where does the whole kind of thing about people, what's the most important thing? And, it's about how inspirational we are and how well we are able to motivate and inspire other people to work with us. And that really doesn't matter whether we are a one-man band or whether we run a corporation of 50,000 people. To be an inspiring leader is something that all of us can work towards, and there are benefits for all of us to do it. And there's a massive difference between management and leadership. And I think that's the thing that, it confuses, or people get really, really caught up in management. And actually running our own organisations, and even if we are a one-man band, talking to someone in the room back there, she's a novelist, and she said to me, what you said, I've just realised, actually I should be an inspirational leader about myself. I have other people working in and around me, and it's as equally important that I kind of bring them along with me. It's not just about managing. So if management is all about the process, leadership is actually all about behaviours. And it's all about a kind of a softer approach to things, but actually creating the inspiration for other people to kind of follow you. And it's about the right attitude, the right qualities and the right attitude. So if management is about process and those qualities that we're looking for in a leader, what are they? Well, they are things like integrity, honesty, sincerity, and it's weird, none of those sound like particularly business-like things. But in order to inspire people, you have got to walk the walk, talk the talk. They have got to believe in what you say and what you want them to do. It's not about setting targets and goals and saying, do that. It's about being firm and clear, but actually the values that come through in terms of commitment and sincerity and, sensitivity, if you like, to certain things that are going on, and understanding that people have a job to do, but actually creating that kind of environment where they feel that they can and that they want to do it for you. Because I guess you can't be a leader unless you have followers. And you can't make people follow you. They have to want to follow you. And the only way for people to want to follow you is that there has to be something in it for them. And it's not just about pay. If you're thinking about an organisation, it's never just going to be about pay. I was reading a survey recently where actually pay and reward was the most important thing that people kind of wanted in a job, obviously, otherwise we wouldn't go to work. But the next most important thing was purpose of the organisation. And that's what motivated them to stay, was the purpose of the organisation. And scarily enough, only 12% of people in this particular survey actually felt that the organisation they worked for had a purpose. And that purpose, we'll call it vision, whatever you like to call it, comes from the senior management. It comes from leadership. So if you're not giving that sense of direction and purpose, then you don't have the followership. People aren't going to understand what needs to be done. And if you're going to encourage people to follow you, there are certain things about charisma. Well, people have a kind of great level of charisma and they're great leaders. And that's true. But actually, for charisma, don't read charm, because charm will only get you so far. We all know charming people. And actually they're not very charismatic, they're not very inspiring. So it can start with that. It starts with a bit of personal stuff, doesn't it? But it has to go beyond that, really. And one of the important things, I guess, is that, you always hear these phrases, don't you, about, oh, he was a born leader, she always leads the way, etc., etc. And to a certain degree, there is that. People are naturally more sort of prone to being a leader. You can see it at an early age with some people coming through, but it isn't an either or option here. It is something that can be learned and something that can be developed as we go through our careers and our life and everything that we do, and we learn from other people. So that you can kind of nurture that leadership, and that you should be nurturing that leadership with other people, is a really important part of being a leader yourself, because there's no reason why everyone shouldn't kind of create those inspirational leadership attributes, really. And in order to be that, you've got to have the power of your own conviction. You've got to have that level of confidence. And, you know, and that's why you can see some people, that's why some people are defined as born leaders from an early age, is because they've got that conviction. They've got that belief in themselves, and they can inspire you to think things. But there isn't a right or wrong style to leadership either. Some people have a natural style about them, but actually you have to be adaptable. The style has to be completely adaptable. What worked last year in the great days when business was going brilliantly isn't necessarily going to work this year when times get tough. So adaptability is something that is really, really important. And actually, people won't continue to believe in you if you don't adapt. If you try to keep forcing people to do something which worked last year but doesn't work this year, and everyone else can see it, then inspiration is gone. They're no longer with you, really. And an important part of that adaptability is actually understanding how people are feeling. So, you know, again, I've gone back to this management. It's all about purpose, isn't it? And goals and objectives and, you know, getting stuff done. And leadership is actually about understanding people and understanding what motivates people and finding a way to motivate people. And from that point of view, then, it's almost that managing is about managing. Leadership is actually almost the complete opposite. It's almost about serving the people. So as an inspirational leader, you are the person who services the people who are working for you, who are doing what you need them to do. You are encouraging them to work as a team. You are giving them the opportunity to contribute to the direction or the purpose or whatever it is. Because actually, you know, people will push back against something if there is something to push back against. So the more that you do that dominant leadership thing, it's like my way or the highway, this is what I do, the more people are likely to go, do you know what? I don't think so. Whereas actually, if you kind of say to them, this is where we're going, this is our direction, this is what I expect of you, now come with me, they are much more likely to do it. But that doesn't mean that you don't take the tough decisions. Because actually, again, people won't be inspired and won't follow you if they see that you're actually being a bit flim-flammy. So you've still got to make the tough decisions, but it's about helping people to understand why you're making those decisions. So in summary, really, it's about, there's a kind of, I've got a whole list here, really, of, you know, the management versus the leadership kind of examples, but just as a couple, really, you know, in managing, it's about discipline. In leading, it's about giving other people the responsibility. In managing, it's about decision-making. And in leadership, it's more about sharing the vision with the team members and encouraging them, being honest with them and giving them direction. In management, it's about appraising people. And in leadership, it's about inspiring people. And in management, it's about implementing tactics. And in leadership, it's about acting with integrity. So whatever those tactics are, whatever those things that happen, if we have to change, if we have to flex, if we do it with integrity, it continues to work. That's me done.